What's up guys, it's RobTG4 here, and we are going to be talking about the most important part in all of crypto, which is the Bitcoin halving cycle. Now, for those who don't know, the Bitcoin halving cycle is that every 4 years, the block rewards to miners for effectively establishing the history of transactions that is the Bitcoin network halves every 4 years. And this halving cycle has a near identical trading system every single time when it comes to Bitcoin's price, and also more broadly, the entire crypto market when it comes to whether it's in a bear market or a bull market. And so it's not only consequential to know this for how Bitcoin operates economically, but it's also extremely important to know how other cryptocurrencies change in the markets over the course of this cycle. So, what are the most important things to know about the halving cycle? Well, the first thing is to know when the different halvings have taken place. The first halving was in 2012, the next in 2016, the one after that in 2020, and the one after that in 2024. Once you've charted where these dates fall on the overall price trajectory of Bitcoin's history, you can then start to understand where other trends fall in line based off of that chart. Next, you need to know what happens during those first initial days and months after that halving takes place. Now, historically, around the first 500 to 600 days, you see a bull run, effectively going from a rather steady price movement to an all-time high. And once this all-time high happens, you see the second thing, which is approximately a year of a down market or a bear market. So effectively, we take about 500 to 600 days to reach a high, and then once we reach that all-time high, we go right back down almost to what we started. Now, interestingly enough, the drop is consistent of every bear market within each halving, meaning that once we get to an all-time high, we usually drop around 70 to 85% in price. And this is typically where people want to stack their stats or sell when it's high and then wait until they can get more Bitcoin at that low point over the course of that year period. Once we hit that year period, typically Bitcoin will trade sideways or move a little bit up or down before the next halving. And this is where there are some variances and where you can compare some halvings to others. For example, in 2024, we've seen a great deal of sideways trading over the course of the year since April when the last halving occurred. And this is very similar to the price action in 2016. When you can make those historical reference points, you can then start to project, okay, what might happen going into October or November of this year, depending on how previous cycles have gone. Now, that is not to say that everything is completely predictable using these reference points. There are also other correlative factors such as an increase or decrease in US federal interest rates, presidential elections around the world, and of course, supply shock from certain instances like Mt. Gox paying back its creditors, etc., etc. And these variances will create different changes and make each halving somewhat unique. However, the overall trend has been consistent for the entire lifetime of Bitcoin, with an exception to 2012 in some respects, given it was very, very early on during that period. Now, when you know that, the magic is that you can leverage this cycle and chart the same type of patterns across nearly every major cryptocurrency. And this is extremely helpful when you need to know when altcoin season starts or when investors are going to be most likely to participate in a project seed round, for example. And so having this type of knowledge is extremely advantageous, not only to prepare yourself financially if you are exposed to Bitcoin, but also to operate as a founder, an investor, and otherwise. Thank you so much guys for your time. I'm trying to change this content of these videos up to talk about different things that are a little bit more flexible than just doing boring weaklings all the time. If this is helpful, please, please, please give it a like. And of course, if there's anything that you would want me to talk about, please let me know in the comments. All right guys, peace.